So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. That's wonderful. So today, this is day 13 of this time of Christ, and I'm happy that you're here. That we can continue with this specific action today. In the first half hour, we will practice stepping back. I choose the second place to gain the first. And that is like, okay, here it is. You show me. I have no idea. I don't know what anything is for. I don't know what anything means. I don't know how this is supposed to look. I don't know what's the best for everyone involved. I don't know anything. If I go for my own way of thinking, as I'm used to as a human being, I don't know anything. So I step back. And in doing that, I gain the first place. Literally everything is given me. Now it becomes clear what to do, where to go, what to say, and all this. I literally find myself in the solution that is given to me. I don't need to do anything for that. I only had to step back out of it in order for that to occur. Now this sounds like a simple mechanism, and it is. So practicing that, praying for help with it, like this is a miracle prayer that we use. It is a miracle prayer to discover that by you stepping back out of the situation, it can actually be shown to you what to do, where to go, and all this, like everything that you need to know. Now, why is that working that way? Just because my mind is holding on to old ideas. My mind is holding on to the past. I'm not seeing anything else. It's like I see only the past and think that the future will be just like it. And that's the part that's being undone by me stepping back out of the situation and say, like, I have no idea how to look at any of this. I don't even know what to think about this. So here we go. So seeing only the past, right? That's another lesson. I see only the past. This is the only thing I can see. With my eyes, thinking in terms of form, looking for solutions for my problems that I perceive with looking at the past, which aren't solvable at all. My problems that I'm perceiving are not solvable. There is no solution to them because I'm looking at the past. In whatever form they appear, sickness, limitation, pain, death, all of it. I'm only seeing the past. That can never be it. Now I'm going to use that as a basis for my choice, for my problem solving. However could that work? That's literally impossible. And it is not necessary. So that's the great part. Like it isn't necessary because there is a solution that presents itself as soon as you choose the second place in order to gain the first, because you are literally given the first place by God because you're his firstborn. You're his one son in whom he is well pleased. You think he doesn't know what to give to you? Yes, of course. He knows exactly what to give to you. Before you even ask, he already knows what to give to you, and he doesn't stop giving that to you on a moment-by-moment basis. Now, the new discovery then is how on earth to receive that. How am I supposed to receive that? What do I need to do for it? Because I seem to be circling around in denial land. I seem to be circling around in a place where I perceive this, I perceive that, limitation, sickness, pain, death, and it keeps returning. Sickness, pain, death, limitation, sickness, pain, death, limitation. None of it is so, because I see only the past. I see only the past if I trust my eyes to give me information. To even consider it as a fact is the height of insanity. And you do it all the time. You step into it all the time until you don't. But it's like you're tempted to believe that what you see has reality. Otherwise, you wouldn't be upset by it. But where are you upset about? You're upset about something that isn't even there. You're not upset for the reason that you think, lesson 6. Like you're not upset for the reason that you think, because you're upset because you see something that isn't there. No wonder you're upset. No wonder you're upset by what you are perceiving. Like, hello? No wonder you're upset by what you are perceiving, because it isn't right, it isn't real. It has nothing to do with reality. It is literally the past that you're looking at. And it seems very real and all this blah blah, but it isn't. So this is something that you have to, literally let it come in to your awareness. The past is gone. The past is over. What I perceive is the past. What I think is the occurrence there is already gone, is over. It has no effect. This seems to be the most difficult exercise, but it is not. It is just based on your willingness to let that be true, because it is true. So it's like you see the past, you're totally upset by it. Now here comes the resolution. Like, listen to this. This moment is free of that. This moment offers you peace and total love and extension and connectedness. And you say like, no, my past is so real. I'm suffering my past so badly. And it's like, yeah, but there's a solution. Yeah, but I'm suffering so much. I don't know what to do with it. Well, you don't have to do anything but letting it go. Because here you are. The present moment is complete and whole in itself. It's the only thing that is occurring now. This is what is occurring. So that's why there's a great emphasis on becoming present right here, right now. And forget about everything else that you perceive, that you think, that you associate with, that you think has just happened. It did not happen. It's gone. It's over. It's already past. It's 200 years ago that it occurred. It has no relationship with this moment at all. Unless you want that. Unless you want the drama of time and past and human destiny. Because the human destiny is nothing but the belief that the past is true. That the past is still here and now. That's all. Thinking that, I hope the suffering will be over soon. It's like, there's so much suffering. I hope the suffering is over soon. Like, well, what are you perceiving? You're perceiving the past. There's no such thing as suffering. There is no such thing as suffering. The only thing that you need to do, in fact, is releasing it. Coming to yourself. Seek first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all things will be added unto it. All the things, all the gifts of the kingdom of God are going to be added to your experience as a totality of well-being, as a totality of joy, as a totality of happiness. Recognizing that, how could I ever have thought this past to be a reality? Now this is inclusive, it's complete. It's like there's no midway into it. That's why you either experience it or you don't. There's not a gray area where you can try to make a deal with truth or hold on to a little bit of what you see in order to be free of it at the same time. It's like, no, wait, that's not necessary. No, you step back. You choose the second place. Like, I don't know anything. Now what's the next thing? I gain the first. This is just given to me. That was the only requirement. I just had to step back out of the position that I'm defending and holding on to. Just let it go back. And something really deeply shifts. Like that's a total transformation right there. That's a total resurrection right there. That is the occurrence. So in other words, good morning. I'm happy that you're here. This is a brand new start of a beautiful day. Now everything is going to be different because you have heard and accepted this what you just heard. And we're going to pray for that. Prayer in the sense of, wow, this is the simplicity of salvation. It's given to you. Are you willing to receive it? Here it is. Oh God, help me. That's basically the prayer in its simplicity. So let's start with that. I love it. Let's start with that and see what happens. Yeah, the whole world turned upside down here. You can tell. I love it. So let's really be still with this. Let's be still with this idea. I choose the second place to gain the first. I choose the second place to gain the first. What seems to be the second place is first. For all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice for God. It seems that we will gain autonomy but by our striving to be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. That's an interesting sentence. It seems that we will gain autonomy but by our striving to be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, loss, and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to His will. To join with His is but to find our own. And since our will is His, it is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. What seems to be the second place is first. For all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice for God. It seems that we will gain autonomy, but by our striving to be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, and loss and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to His will. To join with His is but to find our own. And since our will is His, it is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. Since our will is His, it is to Him that we must go to recognize our will. There's no will but yours, Father, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace, and happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me. there's no will but yours. And I'm glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace. And happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me. I can say now, welcome. Welcome to the next episode of the Healing Circle. So this is just a continuation of our meeting, but it looks a bit different. That's great too. So thank you for joining in this and continuing, because this I need you here, in the sense that you want to practice healing, being in a healing circle, letting yourself be aligned with truth is really what this is about. And so the meditation practice that we do, or the lesson that we just prayed, is great help for that, because we step back, like we literally step back, we take the second place. And now you say, like, okay, so what does that have to do with healing? Well, everything, of course. It has everything to do with healing, because you don't know how to do that. If you would use so-called your power, well, to be honest, that brought you here, and that brought me here too. It's like that wasn't that successful. So, and that's an understatement. Like there's literally, you have no power. In that sense, if you trust your own definitions, you have no power. So if you trust your own will, you have no power. It looks like it works for a moment, but then it falls apart. And this is good to recognize, because like aligning yourself, your will, with the will of God seems like a sacrifice in the beginning, but it isn't. And stepping back out of any situation just to let it be shown how to respond to it is just a speed up of the time that you otherwise would have been suffering. Like that time is going to be shortened. Like we use this in the miracle principles too. Like it's always shortening. It's a collapse of time. Well, if you would do this on the human way of evolving into, from Homo sapiens to Homo illumina, you would be busy for another 20,000 years, or maybe 2 million years, who knows? Like how quickly is that changing? Well, not so fast. And if you have doubts about it, then turn on your news app. That's always a great comparison. Look at the state of human consciousness. You can say like, well, there's nothing outside of me. That's what you told me. It's like, that's right. But what you see is the past. So what you see, even on your news app, is already past. They call it news, but it's not new. It's gone. It's over. But anyway, so in your definitions of yourself, you believe time to be true. This is inevitable. Like you believe time to be true, and the consequences are what you see in your news app. You see that people are suffering, that there's war, that there's a preparation for great defense against all the dangers of the world, and more and more and more. There's so much inequality, there's so much separation, there's so much destruction. And that is not news. That is past. That is gone. That is over. But we live, if you believe that to be true, you literally live in the echo of something that is already over. It just keeps bouncing to the walls that you walk up against. And yeah, that is so different. So the great turnaround, the great celestial speed up that is going on, which comes back to you on a daily basis now. Like daily you're reminded of the fact that none of this is so. All perception is gone, it's over, it's past. So that brings you to what? Like where does this bring you to? Well, it brings you to yourself, not anywhere else. It doesn't bring you in some kind of la-la land. No, it brings you to yourself. And so that's really great. Because now you found the source where the change can occur. It's like, where does that happen? Everything is happening within me. Like the distraction, the temptation to make this real is within me. If I suffer the consequences, I have to bring it back to one point, and that's like, okay, it starts here, not anywhere else. So that's, everything has to do with you at this point. And that seems to be like egocentristic, but it isn't. It's like, no, you are becoming the portal to truth. Through you, like truth can expand. Through your acceptance of the will of God, truth can literally be extended into this world. And the part of you is to step back, to take the second step, the second place, to take the second place in order to gain the first. And from there on, it's still, everything is going to be shown to you. Everything, right in the moment that you need it, it is there. Right in the moment that you could have a consideration, there's already an answer. Okay. Now that bringing back to yourself, I wrote a poem came to me this morning when I had my moment here. So I'm going to share that with you. It is a poem related to the idea of coming to yourself. Discovery. The discovery of myself takes place the moment I allow myself to be myself. Now is the moment, here's the place, giving myself the space. No need for outer confirmation. Sufficiency of inner validation, my inner security. No definition suffices. Presence is total. God is. No change is asked. Completedness is here. Out of control, I disappear. No need is left. No sacrifice possible. One discovery. In being myself, I discover you in the sacred heart of my inner being. The discovery of myself takes place the moment I allow myself to be myself. Now is the moment, here is the place, giving myself this space. No need for outer confirmation, sufficiency of inner validation, my inner security. No definition suffices. Presence is total. God is. No change is asked. Completedness is here. Out of control I disappear. No need is left. No sacrifice possible. One discovery. In being myself, I discover you in the sacred heart of my inner being. See, that's very simple. I love that. So it's very simple in the sense of I just have to allow myself to be myself. And that is really being myself in the moment. Now this is what we're talking about right now. It's like that is a beautiful healing vision. Allowing yourself to be yourself. You don't need to be different. You don't need to adjust yourself. You don't need to make changes in order to make a better version of yourself. We did that. It doesn't work. So here it is like, in order, that might be different. It's not a change, but it might be different because maybe you never did it. For instance, this is one thing that I really had to learn too. It's like the idea of when something is occurring that you actually don't want, you feel no within you. You feel like, no, I don't have to do this. Is it then that you are saying no to what is occurring and say like, no, I have no need of doing that. Thank you, no. Or, okay, we have the habit of doing this, but actually I feel that I should stay and choose for my peace to stay right here. Not to think that I need to do something in order to be liked or to be, I don't really know, to be accepted, you could say. By whom? By yourself? No. In other words, your acceptance you place outside yourself if you think that you need to be acceptable in your behavior, in your yes and your no. That's called dependency, but that has nothing to do with your independence. So the independence is an interesting word because we saw this in the prayer too. Like the idea of independence is not that you turn your back to your brother and say like, well, okay, you do whatever you do, I'm going this way. Like, no, here's listening to yourself connected to. It's like peace will come, but you have to listen to the voice within you. You feel no, then it is no. You feel yes, then you automatically do yes. Like, but the subtlety of that, listening to that and to stand for it, to validate it within yourself as this is what the message is for me. For instance, I have no resonance with this idea. I don't feel a yes in this. I don't. So that saves you, like that can be a real turnaround in your life because you might have been accustomed to adapt yourself to your so-called surroundings or something like this. It's like to continuously adapt yourself to what so-called others are demanding of you or you do in order to be liked or to be accepted. Like, no. So this is your chance to do this differently. Not being afraid. Basically, that's where this is about. Not being afraid to say no or yes if that is what you feel. No, that can go both ways, of course. Like with yes as well as no. It can be very scary to say yes or in fact to allow that to come to the surface and fully stand for it. But if you do, then everything is falling into place. In that sense, it does not matter. To you, it does matter to a certain point, where you are dependent on so-called others, that you're dependent on others. Then it makes a difference if you say yes or no. But in your new freedom that you're discovering, it doesn't make a difference whether it's yes or no. It doesn't have anything to do with your ideas in the first place. This is the new freedom. It has nothing to do with the thoughts that you hold on to from the past, because they're over. Now here's your new situation. Do you know the difference between yes and no? Except that you feel yes or no. If it's no, then it's no. What opens up for you is exactly right for you. It doesn't matter how that looks. It can be totally different than you're accustomed to. That's perfectly all right. You know what I'm saying? I try to make a point here. And this just in order for you to be free in the choices that you make. It does not have to be based on past expectations, on past patterns. No, this is your chance to in fact allow that to be renewed by staying present right here, to ask for it, to step back out of the situation. It's what is it actually that I feel? I have a choice here. And the choice is just to stand still and to listen and to follow that, what is given to you. This is encouragement, really. It's this course is not beyond immediate learning. Because you could think oh my God, it's all so difficult. I know the Course in Miracles is so difficult. This course is not beyond immediate learning unless you prefer to believe that what God wills takes time. And this means only that you would rather delay the recognition that His will is so. This is aligning with God's will. To learn to do that. You can do that immediately by basically saying, I have no idea. Show me. I follow in the appointed way. I follow you. Show me where to go, what to do. So this course is not beyond immediate learning unless you prefer to believe that what God wills takes time. And this means only that you would rather delay the recognition that His will is so. In other words, you want to hold on to the ideas of time. Because some kind of way that seems to you to be a better choice. The holy instant is this one and every one. The one you want it to be, it is. The one you would not have it be is lost to you. Now, why do I bring this in right now? The holy instant, the time of Christ is the birth of the holy instant. The holy instant is the moment that you allow this moment to be whole and to be new, and not based on the past, not based on your ideas about what everything is, not based on any of these things. So the holy instant is this one and every one. You must decide on when it is. Delay it not. For beyond the past and future, in which you will not find it, it stands in shimmering readiness for your acceptance. So, in other words, we're practicing the holy instant. That's where this is from too. It's in chapter 15, practicing the holy instant. You read this, what I just shared with you. Now, how is that related to being present here, allowing yourself to be yourself, allowing to listen to the still small voice, just like we shared yesterday too in the tape group. It's a subjective experience. It's a subjective, singular experience. Nobody else can tell you about that. This is your communion with God. This is your alignment with the will of God, and that's a beautiful process taking place within you in learning to accept just that. That means that your decisions or the guidance that you follow is no longer past based. It is no longer dependent on anything but that what comes up in you and literally starts to extend from there. And you validating that within yourself, whether that's going to be validated by anyone else or not. Like, no, this is what I feel. Total respect, in fact, for what is given you and letting that come to the surface and also extend that into your dream. Now that calls for practice instead of words. So I can say a lot and I can try to explain it to you, but here's the real practice. So how are we going to do that today? Well, we see that in the non-public part,